most of the game developers working on their first commercial game make this huge mistake that ultimately leads to burnout and maybe even quitting your game altogether and staying in this cycle of never releasing anything. This is the mistake that led me to quit my own game. In this video, I want to talk about it and hopefully you'll avoid it. Hello everyone! If you don't know me, if this is your first time in the channel, I am Gael and I am a solo indie game developer working on my first commercial game. And in this channel, I share everything I learned while working on my game and everything I learned along the journey to help you out on your journey as well. And hopefully it will help you move your game forward quicker. And finally quit that day job that makes you tired and just spend all day working on your game. That's the dream! So before I start into the nitty-gritty, the why I had to quit working on this game, that it was a survival horror game called Silent Corruption, and I've been posting about it in my previous videos, and also I have a blog. If that's something that interests you, the link is in the description. So basically I started my game dev journey back in 2017 because I have this really weird dream, like a literal dream, and I thought that it would make a really cool story in a video game. It was sort of like a Resident Evil scenario. Yeah, I love survival horror games, and I thought that was like the perfect story for a survival horror game. So I started researching how to make a video game, learning Unity. Since the very beginning, I was like, it will be really cool if I can turn this into my full-time career, because at the time I was also struggling to find a stable job. I was learning things like how to program in Unity, 3D art and stuff like that. And I made a few free games. I also tried to make games with other people, you know, like form a team of newbie developers and stuff, but as you know, these things usually don't go very well when everybody's working for free. So yeah, I had a few attempts to try and make a game to, you know, be a successful game developer, but it didn't really work for a long time. So eventually, thanks to all this experience that I had working on my own projects, I landed a job as a Unity developer for a very small indie studio. They were like 2 people at the time. The game is Bo Path of the Teal Lotus, that is actually very successful. And I was working there for like almost 2 years, and I learned a lot about how to program a game, obviously, but also like the general aspects involved into making and releasing a commercial game. That was back in 2022. That's when I started working with them. So when I finished with them, like October 2023 or so, I had to go back to look for another job. And that is when the game industry started to collapse and all these layoffs started to happen everywhere, and it was really difficult to get a job as a, you know, still junior developer. So I just have to find a random job, you know, just working wherever to pay the bills. And I thought that because that job was only part-time, I have the evenings free to do whatever I wanted. So I thought, you know what? I'm more or less stable now that I have found this day job, that even though it has nothing to do with the game dev, but at least it's paying the bills. So I'm gonna spend the evenings working on my game. I think it's a good time to go back to this very first idea that started everything and work on this idea for the survival horror game that I had, which is Silent Corruption, no? the game that started everything. So since then, I have been working on the game, and yeah, not really making much progress because it's a very big game for just one person. I think the minimum team needs to be like 3 people. Like, I can do programming easily, characters, 3D modeling and stuff, that's fine, but I need somebody helping me with doing the environments as well, Level design, I'm not very good at that yet. It's the thing that I have practiced the least, so not very good at that. And also need help with animations, characters, animations, and that, because there's a thing that they're sort of difficult to get them right, and they take a long time to make. So yeah, I calculate that I need at least two other people helping me to make that game in a relative sort of time, but it's probably like gonna be 2-3 years. So just on my own, I realized that it was gonna take forever to make this game. And I don't really want to spend like 5-10 years making my first game, because it's not about, you don't just need to learn how to make a game and how to make it good. You also need to learn all the other part of Steam, how to sell your game, how to market it. And I don't know, I just feel like, this is not making any sense at all. I'm spending way too much time on this, and also like I'm only working on this part-time. And on top of that, I have some health issues that make me very, very, very tired a lot of days. So yeah, like maybe I have like 10, 15 hours a week, 20 on a good week, where I can work on this game. So yeah, the game was moving forward very, very slow. Like even I have been working on there like almost 3 years now. Yeah, almost 3 years. I wasn't still really much on the prototyping phase. Like I had barely made an environment. Everything was still like white boxing, because yeah, the first level was I guess too big, or also I don't understand how to make levels. And for example, I took like half a year just making the main character, like Jane, making her model, because yeah, I'm still learning how to make good characters. So yeah, it was taking forever. And yeah, I was realizing like the more I was working on my game, even though I was having a lot of fun and I was really excited with the game, I still am really excited with making this game. I realized that, it's not gonna happen. And I honestly don't wanna, I wanna quit my day job as soon as I can. I wanna be a game developer full time as soon as I can. And with this game, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. So yeah, that was very demotivating. And yeah, I just don't want to spend 10 years to release my first game. So I took some time off from my day job, and I went on a holiday with my partner. And while we were away, I was talking with him about all this, and I realized that I needed to quit making Silent Corruption, that I was wrong, and this wasn't the right time to make this game. I'm not ready yet. This is a game that requires a lot more skills that I don't have yet. And at first, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna take like 3 months break from making Silent Corruption, and I'm going to do a very, very simple horror game in this time, which is just, a small setting with just one character, maybe like one enemy, or no enemy at all, but yeah, probably one enemy. And very, very simple story, nothing complicated. It's still going to be a game focused on exploration and narrative, because that is what I like doing and playing. So yeah, I'm just gonna take these 3 months and try to make a game on that time and release it, and learn all how to do the Steam part of releasing a game, which is another huge skill that you need to learn on top of making a game. And a good thing that I have from this day job that I'm working at is that I have a few hours every day where I can just listen to stuff, like, audiobooks or podcasts or whatever. So one of the things that I've been doing for the past week, 2 weeks, is watching all the videos of Chris Saukowski about how to market your game. And one of the things that he says is that please start with a very small game because you need to learn the craft. And oh, he is so right. Like, I've realized that this is so on point. And I'm actually making the right decision by quitting Silent Corruption and working on a small game. And he also says that your first 10 games are not going to be successful because learning how to make a compelling game that is actually good is very difficult, and you need to do a lot of games before you start to get it right. And it's completely right, completely true. And this is something that I was so against. I was just, everybody gives you the advice that you need to make a short game as your first game. But I was like, no, I'm going to do a long game because this is what I want to do. And I was so wrong. So wrong. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of beginner game developers that are working on the first game. Why do we keep trying to make these huge games that are so complicated? I get it, because most of us, we play like these AAA games that take like hundreds of people to make, and for whatever reason we think we can make them ourselves on our own. We can't. We cannot. We have to make very simple games to start with. And I guess this is also because a lack of knowledge of what really goes into making a game. And when you don't know how to make something, you always estimate that it's going to be a lot easier than what it actually is, and it's going to take a lot less time than what it's actually going to take. So yeah, this is a very beginner mistake. You're trying to make a very big game as your first game. So don't make the same mistake I made. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you need to go through the same process that I've been through to realize that, okay, I was being too stubborn, and I'm making this beginner mistake to thinking that I can do more, or I can eat more than I can chew, or however you say. And yeah, we need to do little steps to properly learn our craft. So yeah, I've come to my senses, I guess, and realized that no, I need to do at least 10 games, very short games. There'll probably be horror or horror theme, because that is just my jam. That's what I like to do. And after that, if I have enough, I have enough money, and I can hire people, maybe I can tackle Silent Corruption. Or maybe, no, I don't know. Maybe I find other ideas that are more interesting. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on a very short horror game. I will tell you more about it in the future. I post about it in my blog, so if you're interested in following the development, you can check the link in the description. It should be the first link or so. So yeah, I hope that if you are making your first game as well, and it is a very big idea, consider taking a break. 3 months or something to make a very small game, and you'll realize that we need to start making short games. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has helped you. If you want to see another video about the things I learned in this game journey, you can click somewhere in the screen and you can go watch that video next. See you soon. Bye.